I guess these aren't kids anymore, but they're prospects. And I think things have been kind of nutty, at least in AAA or specifically Norfolk, if I'm mistaken, Zach.
Yeah, thanks for joining us, Jeff. I would say we talked about the UCL and elbow issues are probably a pitcher's worst nightmare right now, but AAA pitcher's worst nightmare, I would think, is going against the Norfolk Tides at the moment.
Hold on, can I just interrupt for a second?
Yeah.
How does Heston Kjerstad have 25 RBIs in 9 games?
well, we have him on after you, so we can ask him how the hell he's coming. Yeah, he's coming on after you.
Can you please ask him that question? I understand he had like 10 in one game. Like, I get that. But that's still 15 in 8 games. Like, that's still an absurd thing.
So have you seen a squad with this many top prospects, 1 through 5, and then a team performing this well where they scored like 19 runs and then the next game they're like, okay, actually we're going to score 26 this time. Like they just keep upping it.
Yeah, somebody texted me a couple days ago, a longtime evaluator, that this is the best minor league team I've ever seen. I don't know if they have the pitching necessarily to be called that, but I think you can suggest that they're the best minor league offense. And I'm sure in history there have been great teams that I don't necessarily know about, but just in terms of a collection of prospects, you don't very often see, 4 top 100 guys. And Connor Norby is sort of like borderline for some guys, but Holiday's number 1 for everyone right now. Yeah. Kobe Mayo, for some people, is as good as like top 10. And I think universally is a top 25. And Kjerstad's not far behind. So, yeah, you don't, especially like at the upper levels, guys of that ilk quite often get bumped from AA just straight to the big leagues. They skip AAA. So seeing that many big league ready guys at AAA, it's awesome. Like I want to go to Norfolk and watch them for a weekend just to see what it's like in person. The greatest show in baseball. It's like they are so much better than every other AAA team. It's a bigger gap than anything you see in the big leagues.
Yeah, I think that's what's crazy is, like you said, it's not, okay, this is single A ball where these guys are just going nuts. This is one level below the majors that they have all these guys just having unreal starts.
Yeah, and I think that brings up a really great follow-up question. And Jeff, again, thanks for coming on to the show. It's a real great pleasure to meet you. I've been a fan of you for so long. A lot of fans in Birdland are really kind of upset that some of these guys aren't playing big league ball right now, especially the Jackson Holidays of the world. Jackson Holiday specifically. I understand the frustration.
I'm so sorry that your 101 win team isn't better.
That's what I'm saying.
Thank you.
There it is.
Thank you.
Yes.
There it is.
Yeah, like we've been in such poverty for so long, and then now we're just we're in a surplus of talent, and now all of a sudden people are pissed about it. The thing of it is,
so here's the thing: if you're going to break with your 26 best players on opening day, they're right. Jackson Holliday is one of the 26 best players in the Orioles organization. There's a good argument to be made that Kobe Mayo is one of the 26 best players in the organization. There's a good argument to be made that Heston Kjerstad is one of the best 26 players in the organization. That's fair. Like, I get why they want to bring the absolute best players to the big leagues right now to start off. But you also need to understand that when you have solid quality big leaguers there already, there is an advantage to keeping guys down and leveraging the rules as best you can to make sure that this window is extended even more. And I'm sorry, but Jackson Holliday is a Scott Boras client. He's not going to be signing an extension. That's not going to happen. So if you can get an extra year out of him, if you can leverage those rules to get one more season out of him at the back end when he's still in his prime, I don't like it. I wish it weren't that way. But the rules are the rules, and the Orioles have done a very good job of using the rules in their favor in recent years. And it's not that Mike Elias and Sig Mejdal are beyond question. They're not. Of course, they're going to make mistakes. They're going to do things that are wrong. And if the Orioles wind up losing the division and ending up in a wild card series because of one game in the standings, then they're going to look dumb for not having brought Holliday up at the beginning of the season. I just think it's too early to sit here and say, whether that effect is going to demonstrably change what things would have looked like otherwise. And here's the thing, there is an argument for both sides. I just don't want Orioles fans who understandably want these players in the big leagues right now to look past the organizational advantages that come from putting them down. It sucks in the moment, but long term, it may be what's best for them.
I'm glad you brought that up. We just had Buster Olney on here last week, and speaking to this, and he kind of takes the side of like, he called it service time manipulation, but like at the same time, like he spoke to how it can negatively impact how players feel about the organization if they do that. So I understand what you're saying, and I think from a business standpoint, it makes a ton of sense from the front office. But is there some truth to that too? Do you think that there's some players that may hold a grudge when it comes to something like that?
Yes, but in the end, money talks.
Money talks. That's it, Jeff. If they give Jackson Holliday $500 million.
Yeah,
he's not going to give a shit about what they did to him when he was 20 years old.
You're damn right. And that's the part of it. This is the part, and it's a great question though, Brad, because it is a business at the end of the day.
Yeah.
And people can say all of a sudden, oh, things can be broken. Well, that's why I said, like, we're in Baltimore here, Jeff, and the Baltimore Ravens, and everyone's saying Lamar Jackson's out of here. He wants to trade. Oh, here, Lamar, here's $250 million. Yeah. Okay, Baltimore, let's ride. Like, that's just how it works.
Here's how I look at it. The most important thing is Jackson Holliday up by the end of September so he can play when the playoffs come around. Yep. And the thing is, like, all that matters right now is that you get a lottery ticket. Like we saw last October, the Arizona Diamondbacks had 84 wins. They were 16 games behind the Los Angeles Dodgers in the National League West, and they swept them out of the playoffs and rode it all the way to the World Series. They were the third team in 3 years to have the worst record among playoff teams in its league and go all the way to the World Series. Like, you don't know what's going to happen in October. And so the way that baseball's playoff structure is set up at this point, and this is like, I don't like that this is the case, but it's the reality. It's what they're dealing with. You just have to play to be good enough in the regular season. You don't have to play to win that. You don't have to play to, like, is anyone going to sit there and celebrate the 2023 Baltimore Orioles American League East title? Yeah, it was nice. And you can hang like a little bitty banner for it, but the big banner is the one that counts. And if Jackson Holliday is up by the end of the season, he's going to be trying to help you win that, as opposed to the first, 2 months of the season.
Yeah, I don't think anyone in Texas was also realizing that the Rangers almost missed the playoffs and had to battle to make it, always going to win the division, and then all of a sudden they sneak in, win 11 straight on the road en route to the World Series. I think everyone in Texas is pretty damn happy. I'm right there with you, Jeff. I think the ultimate goal, be up at the right time.